category. Ibn Kathir mentions these ahadith as a tafsir of this ayah. And this first hadith is narrated by Muslim. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ثلاثة لا يكلمهم الله ولا ينظر إليهم يوم القيامة ولا يزكيهم ولهم عذاب أليم. قلت يا رسول الله من هم؟ خسروا وخابوا. قال وأعاده رسول الله 3 مرات. قال المسبل والمنفق سلعته بالحلف الكاذب والمنان. Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu, and this hadith is narrated by Muslim, he heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, there are 3 people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not speak to and will not look at and will not purify and will punish them. Abu Dharr said, who are they? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam repeated that 3 times. And when Rasulullah repeats something, it's to turn attention of the people. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that these 3 people are al-musbil. Al-musbil is the one who has long clothes dragging below the ankle. There's another hadith that specifies that this punishment is to the one who drags their clothes below the ankle for khuyala. Khuyala means pride and arrogance. And then the second person Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, al-munfiq sil'atahu bil-half al-kadhib. The one who sells by false and lying oath. An example would be, wallahi, this cost me $10 and it really only costed you $5. So you're making an oath in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to sell something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not speak to this person. And the third is al-mannan. Al-mannan is the person who always reminds with his favors. You remember a year ago I gave you $5. You remember a year ago I invited you. You remember a year ago I gave you a ride. Come on, you need to pay me back. This would be an example of al-mannan. The one who always reminds with the favors. That means that this person is not doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The person is doing it for a return. He wants you to pay them back. These are the 3 people mentioned in this hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in the hadith narrated by Bukhari and Muslim, من حلف على يمين وهو فيها فاجر ليقتطع بها مال امرئ مسلم لقي الله عز وجل وهو عليه غضبان. The one who makes an oath in order to take away something that belongs to the Muslim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will meet him and he's angry with him. And in another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, ثلاثة لا يكلمهم الله يوم القيامة ولا ينظر إليهم ولا يزكيهم ولهم عذاب أليم. رجل منع ابن السبيل فضل ماء عنده ورجل حلف على سلعته بعد العصر يعني كاذبا ورجل بايع إماما فإن أعطاه وفى له وإن لم يعطه لم يفله. وقال الترمذي حديث حسن صحيح. This hadith is narrated by Ahmad, Abu Dawud and Tirmidhi. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there are 3 whom Allah will not speak to on the day of judgment and will not look at and will not purify and will punish them. A man who prevents the traveler from surplus water that they have. You have water. You have enough water. And this traveler doesn't have any water to drink and you do not give the traveler your water. And for this person, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that on the day of judgment, this is another hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell that person, how come you prevented something that doesn't belong to you? Water is for everyone. Water is one of the things that is for every person who is in need of it. If you have with you water that is surplus, and there is someone in need of water, that surplus water does not belong to you. It should be given to the one who needs it. The next, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, وَرَجُلٌ حَلَفَ عَلَى سِلْعَتِهِ بَعْدَ الْعَصْرِ يعني كاذبا. Someone who makes an oath on their merchandise after Asr. What does this mean? After Asr you make an oath on your merchandise. Usually the business day used to be they would work during the daytime. By afternoon, by Asr, if you didn't sell, that means that most likely you're going to take this stuff with you at home. You're going to take it back to the storage. So for people to sell it, I think people who go to the swap meet, they know that by the end of the day, if you don't sell, you kind of try to get rid of whatever you have so that you wouldn't have to take all of this stuff and load it back with you. This person is trying to get rid of this additional surplus merchandise that they have, so they make an oath on that merchandise and they say, wallahi, it cost me this, wallahi. And they try to sell it by using oaths and by using the name of Allah until they get it sold. And they're lying in all of these oaths. Previously, people used to work throughout the daylight, from morning until Maghrib. Now we have work days that is shorter. And we always complain that we're not able to fulfill our Islamic duties because we have work from 8 till 5 or from 9 till 4. Well, people before don't think that they used to have office hours for 3 hours or for 4 hours. They used to work in their farms from Fajr until Maghrib. And they used to work in the market from Fajr until Maghrib. Nevertheless, they still made jihad and they still made Qiyam al-Layl and they still read Quran and they memorized it and they learned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in their time because they had the true intention. Taqullah wa yu'allimukumullah. Have taqwa and Allah will teach you. Allah will provide knowledge for you. But the point is that we have to have the intention, the ikhlas to do, and Allah will help. وَرَجُلٌ بَايَعَ إِمَامًا فَإِنْ أَعْطَاهُ وَفَّى لَهُ وَإِنْ لَمْ يُعْطِهِ لَمْ يَفِي لَهُ. And someone who gives bay'ah to the imam is who's the imam? The khalifa or the leader. You give the imam bay'ah. Now if the imam provides you and takes care of you, then you fulfill your bay'ah. If the imam does not pay you and take care of you, you give it up. So the matter is money. And that is the case with some of Al-Arab who became Muslim. They would go with whoever pays more. If they get paid by Rasulullah ﷺ, they're Muslim. If the Yahud call them to their side and they pay them more, they go with the Yahud. So they change allegiance according to who pays more. And this is a habit which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not speak to the people if they do on the Day of Judgment. Some other sins, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, ثلاثة لا يكلمهم الله يوم القيامة ولا يزكيهم ولا ينظر إليهم ولهم عذاب أليم شيخ زان وملك كذاب وعائل مستكبر. This hadith is narrated by Al-Bukhari. This hadith is narrated by Muslim. There are three whom Allah will not speak to, will not stare at, and will not purify and will punish. Shaykhun Zani, an old man who commits zina, adultery or fornication. Malikun Kazzab, a king that is a liar. And number three, A'ilun Mustakbir. A'il is a poor person, Mustakbir is arrogant. So again, an old man who commits zina, a king who lies, and a poor person who is in need and is arrogant. What is the common thing among these three? There is no need for them to commit this sin. There is no urge to commit this sin. Shaykh Zanin, an old man who's committing zina, who has already passed the age of immaturity and past the age of these strong desires, and this old man is still insisting on committing zina. So the urge is very weak, nevertheless the person is doing zina, so that's a proof that really it's not a matter of shahwa, desire, but it's a matter of insisting on doing falsehood. Malikun Kazzab, this is a king who has the power and is lying. The liar is usually trying to get out of trouble because of weakness. A person lies because they're in a position of weakness, they want to get out of trouble by lying. This is a king who has all the power and is still lying. So there's no urge to commit the sin. And then finally, A'ilun Mustakbir. You have nothing, you're still arrogant. This is the common thing among the three, that there's no urge to commit this sin. Nevertheless, they do commit the sin. That shows that there's very little wara. There's very little righteousness in the heart. ثلاثة, and this hadith is narrated by Ahmad, النسائي, and Mustadrak al-Hakim. ثلاثة لا ينظر الله إليهم يوم القيامة العاق لوالديه والمرأة المترجلة المتشبهة بالرجال والديوث. Three, Allah will not look at them on the Day of Judgment. العاق لوالديه, the one who is cruel to their parents and disobedient. المرأة المترجلة المتشبهة بالرجال, the masculine woman who's imitating men. And الديوث. الديوث is the cuckold, but it's also a little bit broader meaning than that. It's any man who has no jealousy. For example, if a man has a sister or a wife or a mother who's committing indecencies, and that man doesn't mind, that man is called the youth. So these three men, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not look at on the Day of Judgment. Al-'aqu li-walidayh, and this is a major sin, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned al-birr bil-walidayn, righteousness to the parents, right after He mentioned ibadah to Allah. Right after Allah mentioned worship Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned being dutiful to the parents. And then the next thing, al-mar'a al-mutarajjal al-mutashabbaha bil-rijal, the masculine woman, the woman who is trying to be like a man. There's many of these today. This is becoming, this is an illness and a disease that is getting widespread. This is also a sin where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not speak to the person who does it, and then at the youth.